Get inspired, Michiana. I'm Diane Bennett with Inspired Homes in both Michigan and Indiana, and you are watching Tuesday Tips. And we've got some interesting tips today about 5 easy ways that anybody can get a little bit closer to a perfect credit score. Now, the weirdest thing to me is that a perfect credit score is an 850. When you think a perfect credit score would be 100 or 1,000 or something like that, it's not. Perfect credit score is an 850, and very, very few people have that flawless perfect credit score. But the range comes from, like, just if you shoot for a perfect score and you do some of these things to raise your scores, you'll have a better chance of getting those great interest rates and all of that. So it's actually only about 1.4% of the population that has the flawless perfect 850. But even if you're paying all your bills on time, it usually takes years to build a perfect credit score. So it's kind of like a feat of paying off your student loans. That's a great thing to do, but even paying them off doesn't necessarily make your score perfect. In fact, at the very end, it drops your score at the beginning when you first pay it off. Anytime you pay off something, it actually drops your credit score for a little while. I don't really know why. You're going to want to ask your lender if you're trying to get your loan. You're going to ask your lender and they can explain that a little bit better to you. But it has something to do with now you're paid off. They're thinking, oh, well, you don't have any cash. You just paid that off, right? So anyway, but as you build habits now, over time, it's going to pay off for you. Number one habit to do, pay your bills on time, all the time. Always, always, always pay your bills on time. So anytime you get into that 30 days past due, that's not a good thing, and it's really going to affect your credit score. And it stays on there for a really long time. So from the time you ever get any bill, pay your bills on time all the time. Whether you're renting an apartment, whether you have gotten a credit card to build up credit, anything like that, don't ever be late. Never, never, never be late. The next thing you want to do is keep your credit balances low. If you want a really high and healthy credit score, they recommend that you only use about 30% of the credit you're allotted. Because if you have a little bit higher than that, then the credit score people, watching it or whatever, it looks to them like you're maxed out. And so there's a thing called debt to income ratio that they're looking at. So you want to keep it down to 30%. Now, the ones that are like the perfect credit score, they're known to have as low as 5.8% of their possible credit being used. So don't use it a lot, right? You hear a lot of people like to watch Dave Ramsey. He's like, just live debt free, don't have any credit at all. You need credit to get a house loan. But anyway, so the next thing you can do is you can actually audit your credit report. So by law, you are entitled to a free credit report every single year. So you might want to check with your local lender and find out if they can help you do this, or your financial planner. But if you've never missed a payment and sometimes there's like a glitch on your report, that's something you want to look into. 1 in 5 Americans finds a mistake on the credit report. So if you watch it every single year, that's a great thing to do. And the next thing that's kind of weird, you want to limit what's called your hard inquiries. So a hard inquiry is like when you're ready to buy a car or a house or whatever, and different car vendors or homeowner, mortgage lenders will they hit your credit to look into it. The more times you are doing that all the time, it can take like a year for those inquiries to go away. Now you can do soft credit, like when you're doing that once a year, a soft inquiry, you're just checking your credit, and that doesn't affect your score. But any hard inquiries does affect your score. It's really, really strange. So, and then the last thing you can do is give it time, because it just takes time for credit to build up. So unfortunately, yes, if you want a perfect score, it's going to be more likely that someone that's older, that's had been building credit for a really long time, is going to be more likely to get that 850. But like we said, you don't have to have an 850 credit score to be able to get a home loan. You can get a really good interest rate with, a 740 or whatever. So these are some tips. We're going to put a link on here about some other credit boosting tips, and we'll put that link right there in the message. And so check that out. And thanks for watching Tuesday Tips. If you've got questions that you want us to answer on Tuesday Tips, please message us here. YouTube, Facebook, and Inspired Homes page. Those are places you can reach us. And thanks for watching Tuesday Tips, because remember, hey, and Inspired, it's all about you.